All right, let's talk about feeling our best without the hassle. You know those wellness trends that sound great but are impossible to stick with? Like taking apple cider vinegar shots. Yeah, no thanks. That's why I love Goalie Nutrition. They make wellness simple, delicious, and effective with their chewable gummies packed with powerful ingredients. Apple cider vinegar has been used for centuries as a traditional remedy for digestion and gut health. And Goalie's apple cider vinegar gummies make it easy to add to your routine. And when life gets stressful, the ashwagandha gummies help me stay cool, calm, and collected. No wonder they're Goalie's #1 bestseller. Plus, all Goalie gummies are vegan, gluten-free, and made with high-quality ingredients you can trust. Join millions of happy customers and see why Goalie is the #1 most sold item in U.S. retail across all vitamins, minerals, and supplements. Goalie is changing the wellness game. Head to Goalie.com now and get America's #1 ashwagandha and apple cider vinegar gummies at an exclusive 42% off. Give them a try risk-free, backed by our money-back guarantee. Don't wait. Visit Goalie.com today.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, May 2nd and 3rd, Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. Friday from 6 p.m. Eastern, Garcia returns in a history-making Times Square takeover. 24 hours later, Saturday from 7 p.m. Eastern, King Canelo faces undefeated Skull for the undisputed crown. May 2nd and 3rd, a knockout weekend of boxing. Pick one or go all in for only $90, exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Welcome back. It's a brand new episode. This is Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. I'm your host, J.O., and it's the Friday happy hour. We're here with Eric Larson. We're continuing Eric Larson week. How you doing, buddy?
This is a much better setup than you normally have.
Beers?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more kind of our speed. You
Yeah.
know, hanging out, chatting, having some beers. It's Friday.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to go to the weekend. We're golfing tomorrow.
I feel a little bad for Johnny, though. I
What?
understand that, he's got to work the board. So he's got to,
Somebody's got to.
he can't partake.
No. Yeah, it's one of those things. They say you can't take certain prescription drugs and then operate mechanical, or have so many beers. Or is it not have any beers when you operate?
Yeah, I don't think you can have any beers. I mean, we learned
Okay.
that during the TV show Lost.
Yeah,
Because
true.
Jack's father.
man.
Spoiler alert.
I think you don't have to say spoiler alert when it's been 20 years.
I mean, but that was one of the main things on the show was that, Jack had that one flashback where Christian was drinking.
Did you know they're bringing it back?
Wait, what?
They're going to be spinning it off somehow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's no official announcement, but the people who still own the intellectual property said there will absolutely be a spinoff soon.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they've said. Because there's enough people are still chattering about it.
The tough part is that you feel like it'll be a prequel. Like, let's show, the spinoff is going to be Walt leaving the island until he came back as Large Ghost Walt.
Large Ghost Walt. But is that, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, do you care, or do you want it to be a continuation of those characters? I don't. Like,
Yeah, I think
they
that's kind of
told
boring.
their story, right?
Yeah.
So do you want the prequel, and then in the end of the prequel, it leads you to where the original series started, or do you want something completely on its own, kind of in that same world?
See, I lean more towards the completely on its own.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the things that's gone wrong with Star Wars, is Star Wars has been so infatuated with its own nostalgia. Like, let's make a movie called Solo and just tell, like, we had these 4 sentences that gave the backstory to this exciting character in the original. Mm-hmm. Oh, I made the Kessel Run. All right, well, let's make that in the movie. Oh, I won this ship in gambling. All right, let's show that. Like, you're just going through a checklist, and you know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
So unless you can do something new or unique with it, some new perspective, then it's just nostalgia baiting.
I mean, that's why my dad won't watch the show Young Sheldon. He knows what happens with that guy. He knows where Sheldon ends up.
He's not going to be invested. He's not going to think that Sheldon's going to, not be awkward.
Yeah, sorry, CBS. He's not buying it. He knows where that kid ends up.
Don't they? Or I haven't, kept up with the Sheldon sphere.
Neither have I.
Isn't one of the things? Isn't it supposed to be like his parents or something like that? Isn't that one of the shows that was pitched? For
Yeah. Now you're bringing real questions, and I have no idea. I had the joke. That's all I had was the dad joke.
Well,
this is literally all I have on this.
Hey, you give me.
I don't have 5 minutes on young Sheldon. Okay, I've got
you
one.
You give me happy hour. You feed me beers. You tell me that this is light and airy, and now you're yelling at me.
I have
this is
one
Eric Larson week.
This is Eric Larson week. Let's get excited. Eric Larson, it's your birthday. You got to listen to the last episode that just dropped and hear about his Europe trip. But right now,
is there an alcohol section to podcasts?
To podcasting?
This is our lane. Is there a happy hour lane?
This is our lane. We're owning the podcasting world where you drink while you talk. Actually, there probably is a lot of people that drink while they podcast. Not many of them are successful. There's probably a reason for it. It's because you really shouldn't drink and talk, because sometimes you'll say some things that you shouldn't say.
Yeah.
No? Yeah. Is there no truth? Sometimes it just gets you a little loose, and then you're able to, talk about the world's givings like we are.
Now, when you go back and you listen to the episodes after you've made them, are you doing that with a beverage?
100%.
Do you think that your listening audience is doing that with a beverage?
I like to think they are with the Friday Happy Hour episodes. And then the other episodes, I like to think they're dialed in. Or walking dogs.
Because,
we're a big dog walking show, the Laugh With Me podcast.
Which is ironic, considering you don't own a dog.
I do not. But I fear that if there was ever some kind of bacteria or something that wiped dogs off the face of the earth, the show would just tank. Because I do think a lot of people are walking dogs and listening to the pod. So
and I don't want to, come off too aggressive here, but you said something last night at the baseball game that really just stuck with me.
What'd I say?
It was take me out to the ball game. Oh. There were a lot of cats there.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you refused to bring your own cats there.
No. Well, I honestly hate that you brought this up, because that my cats are kind of living under the radar, like they're not registered.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes me a mobster. Am I a mobster? Am I like Tony Soprano?
This is
that what this is now?
I'm very concerned.
So I can't be bringing, because you have to register the cats just to go to, and then it's like, well, my cats aren't even registered with the county, like let alone to go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
It's a whole deal. I'm actually frankly surprised you even brought this up.
Your cat Harry greeted me when I came in the door.
He's a
today.
good kitty.
I petted him on the head.
Yeah.
He yelled at me.
Well,
not an aggressive yell, like just a hey,
what's
I'm
up?
here. I didn't realize you were going to touch me.
Yeah.
Kind of yell.
He ran down the stairs when we were coming down to record, and I thought maybe he's never wanted to like hop on, but I thought maybe he wanted to hop on the pod.
Some people find my voice soothing.
Who?
Well, like I've heard that if you're walking your dog, it's pretty rude. It's pretty rude to have just the headphones in your ears.
Yep.
That maybe you get your dog its own phone and its own headphones, and you get 2 listens then on every walk.
13.33% of the audience actually does that. I've seen the numbers. So
is that percentage still listening at this point of the episode?
Here we go. I just want to point out that even before we recorded Wednesday, and then we've got today's episode, I sent you rundowns of both episodes, and that's pretty normal. I would do that for any episode with any guest. No response from you. 0. Silence. Not even a change of discussion or topic. Silence. I was scared. Why would you not respond when somebody sends you like a run? Like, this is a collaborative effort. Yep. You and I recording this podcast. You left me in limbo. I honestly was going to scrap the whole show altogether. We're on the road to 100 episodes, and not a lot of podcasts get to that. I almost canceled the show. Johnny had to talk me off a ledge. What the hell?
Well, we got a couple things that are working on here. Number one, I'm normally the one that sends you show notes.
This is true. That's because...
And yet you still have not given me any clarification on whether or not there's going to be most prepared guest award this year.
Yeah.
Which I'm never going to get top guest award, but I really want most prepared.
First of all, no guest has ever had an entire week dedicated to them. So you're well on your way to guest of the year, at least nominated, right? You were a nominee last year. I think you're well on your way for this year as well. But as for prepared, you're right. You normally do send me notes.
No.
And say, here's kind of what I want to go. Hey, to all the potential guests and all the current guests that are going to come on the pod, please do that. Send some notes my way. That's great. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. If you want to talk about what I'm going to talk about, well then
hey. What you want to talk about or what Johnny wants to talk about? Because I feel like Johnny was really the one sending me those notes.
He's running this thing.
It's
a good point.
So last night I was cooking pork chops.
Yeah.
And I was using the air fryer. And it took me twice as long to cook them as it was supposed to. So, I mean, I was actively engaged in cooking.
Why did it take you double?
The recipe told me 12 minutes, and it took probably 25 minutes to cook those pork chops.
No chance. In the air fryer?
In the air fryer, 400 degrees.
Zero chance. Did you temp it? Do you temp your...
All right. What is temp
Hold
it?
on.
Temp it?
Okay, that's what I was hoping.
Do I put my hand in it and test it to make sure that it's hot?
No. Do you... When you're cooking meat, do you use a thermometer to check the temperature?
I did because I got so nervous on it because I was just like, it's already been in there for 20 minutes. It told me 12 minutes.
Did you overcook it?
No, it was perfect.
Really? No chance it took you that. You had the wrong temp.
No, I had 400 degrees.
Really? Why would it take so long?
Don't come after my air fryer.
What cut was it?
No, there was no bone in it. Like, I feel like it should have cooked faster.
You don't know what cut of pork chop you had?
It was the one that they sold at the grocery store for $4 for two of them.
Yeah, they sell a lot of cuts at the grocery store.
Hey, don't come at me. Don't come at me.
What grocery store did you go
to? It starts with an H.
Oh, boy.
Ends with an E.
Here we go. No free ads. All right. Well, all right. I get it. I think I have an idea what cut you got. One chop or two in there?
There was two.
I think if you would have just put one in there, that might have helped your cause. Do you still have a George Foreman?
No. I've never had a George Foreman.
Oh, really? It was.
That's a Grant thing. Grant has a George Foreman.
I had a George Foreman. I couldn't tell you that I still do. I don't think I do. If I do, it's in a box somewhere and I haven't looked at it in 10 years. But what
do you suppose ever happened to that guy?
A Grant or George Foreman? Because Foreman's dead. Grant's alive. Should we call him?
Good.
Yeah, Grant's alive. George, I'm not calling George Foreman. He's dead.
Oh.
I actually don't think he died all that long ago. Maybe last year.
Yeah, that's too bad. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to George Foreman.
Episode's dedicated to his memory.
It is absolutely not dedicated to his memory.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, May 2nd and 3rd, Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. Friday from 6 p.m. Eastern, Garcia returns in a history-making Times Square takeover. 24 hours later, Saturday from 7 p.m. Eastern, King Canelo faces undefeated Skull for the undisputed crown. May 2nd and 3rd, a knockout weekend of boxing. Pick one or go all in for only $90, exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip, when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Plan on flying? It's time to upgrade to a real ID. Because in order to board domestic flights, your driver's license or state-issued ID must be a real ID, or you'll need another acceptable form of identification. So don't wait. Find out how to get your real ID at tsa.gov/real ID. That's tsa.gov/real ID, or visit your local DMV. And then you'll be cleared for takeoff.
It's Eric Larson week, and we are here, and I've got a special gift for you.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to call this a birthday gift. I mean, that's on you. If you want to.
Did you give me another beer?
Well, yeah, I've got Coronas. Coming out of my butt. Okay. I know last episode we talked about sitting in leather pants and peeing in beer.
That never happened.
Not today. Today, here's what I got you. Check this out. It's a bottle, 20 ounce of Coca-Cola sold at the store. It's got your name on it.
Oh, my gosh.
It says Eric. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. Here, will you hold it up? I got to take a picture. This is huge. This is huge. Hold on. I don't know how to operate a camera. Oh, yeah.
Great.
That's
great.
big.
This is great radio.
This is
great.
Podcasting. This is great.
I have a bottle. It is a Coke bottle.
Yep.
The label is red, and in white lettering on it, it does say Eric. Mm-hmm. And it says, share a Coke with Eric.
So the Coke has this share a Coke promotion going on right now, and you can go anywhere that sells a 20-ounce bottle of Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, and you can
Pepsi?
Coca-Cola. Oh. And they've got people's names on them.
Okay.
It's wild. You would think, right, that like the most popular names in America is going to have, like Eric. That's a very popular, name.
So you're
going to have bottles of that.
I was able to find my name on the novelty keychain.
There you go. Anybody who can find their name on a novelty keychain, I can find my name on novelty keychain. Jeremy, right? So to my surprise, that there's not a Jeremy involved in the Share a Coke promotion, but there is a Jeremiah. So we do have a Jeremiah.
I'm sorry.
Why isn't there a Jeremy? Why Jeremiah? Who's called Jeremiah anymore?
You could make the argument that, hey, your name is so popular that it sells out. It's like a Pokemon card.
It sells out.
Like it's a Pokemon card.
I don't know about all that. This here's the thing.
Please tell us more.
Here's the thing. Jeremy's a more common name, okay? And with that being said, I've seen some random names in this Share a Coke promo. So Coca-Cola, or I don't even know. Is there, who owns Coke now? Or does Coke own Coke? I don't know the grand scheme of Coca-Cola. You lived in Atlanta for a long time. Isn't that headquarters? What's the deal there?
Coke owns the formula, and then they've got separate bottlers that are all independent that actually make the Coke.
But the marketing itself, the marketing idea itself is probably from Big Coke, right?
Just looking at these two bottles here that you got, the Eric normal name and Jeremiah, like I would assume that the person picking the names is, from Amish.
Yeah.
Amish country.
I am not Amish.
I'm surprised that it's not Eric Maya.
It's wild that there's a Jeremiah. You can't find a Jeremy. First of all,
does pick that? Like,
I don't know. I don't know who picks the names, and I don't know how they change. This promo's been going on for a long time now, and it's big. It does a lot of business because who wouldn't want to go and buy a bottle that's got their name on it?
Yeah,
like that's exciting.
Yeah. So now this makes a lot more sense because I eat a lot of Cheerios. Cheerios has the same type of thing on the front. But it's like, share some Cheerios with your dog.
Yep.
Share some with your sister. Share some with your, amigo. Like it's just relations.
That's
it's not...
so funny you said that because I bought a box of Honey Nut Cheerios for the kids, and it said family. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to hit them in the heart.
Oh, wow.
Instead, I heard, we don't have any good cereal. Yeah. What is that?
What?
I'm like, are you kidding me? I just gave you cereal from the heart.
Yeah. I mean, they live under a roof.
Yep.
They got a podcast studio in the basement.
A podcast.
What drives me crazy is you were still defending him because I told your son that you need to be out mowing the lawn.
Yeah, that's true. He did just mow it. It is time to mow again.
Yeah.
But he did.
He's just like, it's raining outside. It's like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
When I was his age, I had to mow in the rain.
Is that true? Is that true, or are you just at that age where you can just make shit up?
I had to mow uphill both ways.
Both ways. I mowed up some hills. This Share a Coke promotion is fun. It is cool to see your name. But here's what happened. Here's what, and you know what? Happy birthday. I hope you like your Coca-Cola. It says Eric. And anyone who follows on our socials, you're going to see Eric. He's got his bottle. Happy birthday, right? If you want that as your present, by all means. Or if you want me to give you a mulligan tomorrow, because you're probably going to need one when we're golfing, I'll give that to you as your gift as well. But here's the thing. I'm at the gas station, and I see these Diet Cokes. They got the names, and I'm like, oh, yeah, the Share a Coke. That's incredible. And I just happen to see the name Malik.
Okay.
And I'm like...
Not very Amish.
Interesting name to have on a Coke bottle. Got to be at least 5 people named Malik, right? So I'm like, that's interesting. It pops in my head. Oh, I used to know Malik, right?
Okay.
He's the owner, founder of TWSN, the sports website that I used to write for. Haven't been involved with him in a couple years now, but I was like, Malik, yeah. That sumbitch owes me money.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because TWSN, and I've talked a little bit about it on the pod before, but I didn't exactly get paid at the end of my tenure, and I had some pretty popular articles going at a time where they didn't really have many popular articles
and
going.
They never paid you.
No, they did not. See, I was ready to move on to other things, this podcast being one of them.
Right. So
I was on my way out, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Just pay me for, the last month and a half I mowed, because in fact, I had a pretty popular column called The Bottom 5,
right,
where I talked about the 5 worst teams of the NFL week after week, which
Bengals
now
chat.
happens to be its own podcast, right? Anyways, I see this Malik, and I'm like, that's funny that he gets one, and I've got Jeremiah.
Yeah.
So I take a picture of Malik, and I'm like, this would be a funny tweet. I'm going to put this out there and just be like, oh, look at this. This guy still owes me money. And I'm going to tag TWSN, and that's where it was going to end. It was just a funny Share a Coke deal, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, a couple days later, I get a text from Malik himself.
Oh, wow.
Who I haven't talked to in years. And
Did he have to identify himself? Do you have the number?
I had his number. I still had his number. I didn't block him or delete it or anything. Let me see here. Where's he at? I don't think I deleted it. Nope, I didn't. He just says, this is what he says. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I hope you're well. So at that point, I think he thinks I'm a crazy person. I thought it was just funny that his name was on the bottle, and I've got Jeremiah the Amish, right?
Yep.
He just wanted to make it aware. He wanted to be very aware that TWSN is not sending me money.
Okay.
But here's some money.
To the founder.
From the founder of TWSN, sent me money in the same way, in the same form of payment that TWSN would pay me when I worked there. They're not paying me, but he is.
Yeah.
And he is just from him, but it's not from TWSN.
Okay.
He just wants that to be clear. But in this, from the same account that paid me before from TWSN, here's money. So am I to sit here and think that they still owe me money, or did this guy not want any smoke? How am I supposed to sit on this? Or is the Share a Coke promotion kind of like when you find a $20 bill on the sidewalk? What's the deal?
That's kind of where I'd lean into. It's the magic.
Yeah, it's the magic behind the promotion, right?
Like, again, I mean, if that was Pepsi or a box of Cheerios, I don't think you're cashing that check right now.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, man, if anybody who's ever had money owed to them, right?
Yeah.
If they saw a name on a bottle of Coke and they're like, I know a guy named Dominic and he owes me some money. Well, shit, put that out in the world. I think you're getting paid.
Is this the only way that the magic works?
I think that's how it is. I think that's how it is. It's kind of like putting cookies and milk out on Christmas Eve. You can get some gifts the next day. I think if you got to take a picture of the Coke, it's got to be the same name, same spelling, because I'm screwed, right? If I owed anybody money, nobody's getting shit from me because it says Jeremiah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is very passive aggressive from just the fact of, I mean, you're a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that if you went into the store and your kid saw their name on the bottle, they'd be like, Dad, I need this.
Yeah.
So when you bought it for them, I mean, it's pretty much, you know in your head, damn kid owes me money.
That kid owes me money. Yeah, I've been,
like free rent, free board, like
right.
all this stuff.
Yep. But the thing is, did I take a picture and did I put it on Twitter? Because I think that's what you have to do.
Do you think, like, let's say, just pulling a name out randomly, if you found a Coke bottle that said Donald, like, do you think that you could, perhaps send the picture, the tweet of the bottle to, a certain Donald or a Don? Do you think that would get through to him?
I think it would. I think that's what the deal is. I think if you take a picture and you put it out there, it finds its way to them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to do too much more than that. All you have to do is put a picture on and tweet that this person owes you money still. And then a couple of days later, they're going to text you and they're going to be like, yeah, I'm sending you this money, but just know it's not from me.
No.
It's not from the U.S. government. It's from my own personal bank account. And it's like, man, what a nice guy. Because if that was the deal, if you were just going to randomly send me money, I should have been hitting this guy up a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah. But because that's the thing. When I was just a guy leaving, his website from writing little bottom 5 articles, and then it was just like, you owe me money. It's like, no, I don't. I'm not paying you. I'm like, why? I mean, I did the work. I didn't look at these numbers. No. And then a couple years later, I'm like, well, I mean, we're 83rd in the top 100 on iTunes, and we have a little bit of a platform. And I don't know if they know that. Did they read the article about how I brought back the thong song? Like, they probably saw the article, right?
So they know who I am.
They know who you are.
I was in the article.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the stars aligned.
You cash a check?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting paid, brother.
Did you cash a check for you, or did you cash a check for Laugh With Me?
Right. So that's the deal. I cashed it for Laugh With Me. TWSN still owes me money.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. They still owe me money.
I love
I'm
how
not done with that.
This is like a mechanism for just avoiding personal responsibility.
Right. Because why would you want to just end it? Why would you want to just put hand up and be like, okay, we're going to make this right. We're obviously going to give you money, so we're just going to make it right. No, we wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
We just want to be like, hey, hope you're good. Here's some money randomly because you bought a Diet Coke. Well, shit, I didn't even buy the Diet Coke. I took a picture. Yeah. It's interesting. What a Friday.
I mean, I'm not saying this is how you should handle it, but let's just say, I mean, you provided this number to Johnny.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel like Johnny could approach him from the show's angle.
Okay.
And just be like,
here's the number it's going to take.
Yeah.
For us to call this good. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Johnny could probably handle that. I honestly wanted to put it all to bed. And I did. I just thought it was funny that his name's on the bottle of Diet Coke and mine isn't. And I got Jeremiah. Amish Jeremiah is on the bottle of Coke. His is. Well, shit. If your name's on the bottle, buddy, I just want you to know you still owe me some money.
Why do I get the feeling like that this is just the tip of the iceberg? That you've got a shelf in the back with like 4 dozen names. Like every time you see a new name, you're buying that bottle. It's like a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
On just
he's
yeah. Hey Eric, I bought your ticket to the baseball game last night. Got your bottle. You owe me $3.
Yeah. What you've seen in person now with this Eric bottle and what you've seen in the picture of the Diet Coke with Malik's name on it, those were full bottles. I would hate to see what happens once it's empty. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I've got to say. I would hate to see what happens when they're empty. So, I don't know. We'll just, Johnny, that wasn't a punchline, and it wasn't a joke. Dead serious. Dead serious. That son of a bitch. But yeah, the Share Coke promotion's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got your names on them. You take up. So here's how it works. You go to the store. You see the name. You take a picture. You put it on Twitter. Somebody pays you money.
It's easy as that.
It's as easy as that.
This needs to go on like a life hacks. Like that should be life hacks.
Oh man, Friday happy hour, baby. All right, so golf. We're golfing tomorrow. It's your birthday.
Yep.
It's Eric Larson week on the pod. We got the foursome going. I've been thinking about this. I got a feeling I'm riding with Travis. Is that true? We've got you, Sloppy Rob, Travis, and me.
Yep.
Based on that 4, I'm probably paired up with Travis. Is that kind of how
I
I'm
think that's
seeing it?
That's the plan.
Uh-huh. And if that's the case, do you think I get to drive the cart, or do you think Trav's going to want to drive the cart?
Oh, Trav can't drive the cart.
I didn't think so either.
No.
Not only did I think he wouldn't want to, I didn't think he physically could.
Yeah, no. He's
got that Tesla. He just lets the car drive itself. He's not used to driving.
Yeah.
Especially out in the grass.
I found out he accepted the invite the other day.
Finally.
And then he sent me I guess he accepted right away.
Okay.
But he sent me a text yesterday, and he was just like, "Oh, by the way, I don't have any clubs." So I found him a set of clubs.
Why is that on you? He accepted it. Why is he finding clubs?
I mean, I knew a guy, so Rob's bringing a second set of clubs.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
But he hasn't golfed in a couple of years, so I'm hoping that this kind of sparks the energy.
All right. You still think he's going to be there?
Yeah.
All right.
What I do find amusing is I've golfed with him a couple times before I moved. And he had a friend, like an older guy, one of the friends of his dad that Travis was also friends with. And so this guy was teaching Travis how to golf. And I just remember, mentioning to Travis, like, "Hey, let's go golfing." And he was just like, "Yeah, we want to go to this cart, of course we'll have carts and everything, the whole deal." And he's just like, my friend doesn't think that I'm ready for a cart course, that I should keep playing these, shorter, ones. And it was just like,
oh boy,
wow.
What's this going to be like Saturday?
I mean, if this was like a guy and a girl, it'd be like, we'd be sitting here like toxic relationship. Like,
So I'm sitting here right now. I'm not a good golfer, right?
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy playing. I'll get some good shots in.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I'm going to get a handful of great shots in. I'm not a good golfer, though. I just don't golf a lot. I'm going to be like the third best golfer out there. 100%. Like walking in.
Yeah.
Like that's a good feeling.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
I mean, you probably could be second.
I could be second, yeah.
You know.
Oh, man.
I'll say one of my friends, she's not going to be able to, she's not golfing with us, obviously. But she's like, oh, what are you doing later? And I'm just like, oh, well, I'm going golfing. And she's just like, oh, okay. Well, day's over for you.
What?
And I'm like, well, I'm going golfing at 9:45. I'll be done by like 2.
Yeah.
But apparently, I mean, some people look at that Saturday golf, birthday golf.
And
they just say, that your day's over.
The Kentucky Derby's on Saturday, too, at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that.
Oh, really?
Are you gonna be like alert enough to be able to bet on some ponies, or what? What are you even thinking for post golf?
Maybe that's why there are warning signs here, is that I have not made plans for after golf.
Probably best not to.
I'm just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah. That's funny. They're like, yeah, your day's toast.
Yeah. I'm gonna do.
I'm just busy through lunch.
I'm doing lunch with my folks after the golf round.
Are you really?
My mom dropped even the past a comment of just like, oh, well, we've hung out with you after golf on your birthday before, and it's always just like, this is very judgy tone.
Where are they taking you?
They're cooking.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hopefully a pork chop and an air fryer.
Yeah, well,
only the best for baby boy.
I'm going to be pretty hungry when I get there, so hopefully they start it, an hour or two before.
We're going to have a hot dog on the turn.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Hot dog and another cooler full of beer.
And another cooler full of beer. That's the way it is. It's the Friday happy hour. It feels good to have somebody with me on the Friday happy hour the last few. It's just been me sitting here drinking alone. It's kind of depressing, frankly.
It's even more depressing when you talk about it.
Yeah, it really is.
That's the kind of energy you just bottle up.
That's the kind of energy you just sit with.
Yeah.
Hold inside until therapy. Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, it's a Friday happy hour. We've got new episodes coming next week.
Good.
The last time I had you on, I talked about how Lavetti was coming up on the pod, right?
Oh yeah.
That never happened. He claims we're gonna get on the pod here very soon. He's busy. I'm busy. He was just on the news. I don't know if you saw this. KETV was doing a story. I guess there's like this new. I don't even know what it is. It's not a roundabout, but it's kind of like a little maze for traffic to kind of weave through traffic somewhere.
A traffic maze? I guarantee you it's not called a traffic maze.
Yeah, it's not what it's called. But anyway, it feels like a maze to people right now because of how it's working. It's still under construction, whatever. And he was on there. They asked him about it because he was complaining about it. And he's like, I just want to get to the Godfather's buffet. And they really painted a picture on what was important to this guy. So,
and they aired that piece.
He's getting some heat over that. But yeah, we'll definitely have to talk to him about that. But well, it's a Friday happy hour. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's Eric Larson week. And you got anything to plug? I told you to have something to plug next time. Are you promoting anything?
It's my birthday.
All right, he's promoting his birthday.
It was my first Friday happy hour.
This is not your first happy hour.
Well, the first one on the podcast.
This is not your first Friday happy hour on the podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, May 2nd and 3rd, Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. Friday from 6 p.m. Eastern, Garcia returns in a history-making Times Square takeover. 24 hours later, Saturday from 7 p.m. Eastern, King Canelo faces undefeated Skull for the undisputed crown. May 2nd and 3rd, a knockout weekend of boxing. Pick one or go all in for only $90, exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.